Now, of course, I can't speak for everyone, but for myself, as a relatively younger dividend investor at 32 years old, I'm still a huge fan of more income-focused ETFs that offer much more income potential from day one, and that's even if it means maybe less upside or total return in the future. Now, this is because names like JEPQ offer you a consistent, high amount of cash flow in your portfolio month after month, which of course, as a dividend investor, you can choose to either reinvest these dividends into more ETFs and stocks, or like myself, sometime in the future, I'm going to use this money to pay for things like bills, expenses, or to help out family and friends. Not to mention ETFs like JEPQ, for example, also have offered very high quality performance at least since inception. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about the JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF, JEPQ, one of the most popular covered call style income-oriented ETFs across the entire market. We're going to go over what this ETF is, how it works, and I'm even going to share with you guys how many shares of JEPQ I currently hold in my portfolio as of right now and how much income I earn on a monthly basis. And then later on, towards the end of the video, we're going to go over a theoretical situation of a $50,000 investment into JEPQ and see how long it would take, again, theoretically speaking, to turn into $1 million. So if you're a fan of dividend investing or income-focused investing, make sure to stick around, drop a like down below, and let's get right into it. If you are a dividend investor who wants to level up your portfolio, you need to be tracking your dividend income consistently. And that's why I created the perfect dividend tracker that I've used to scale my dividend income up to all-time highs over the last year. Now, along with this dividend tracker, you're also going to receive my A to Z dividend investing ebook, which shows you how I personally started from $0 several years ago to now where I earn over $7,500 per month in dividends. So if you want this tracker and the ebook, go to the first link down below in my description and grab it today. Now, I'm not going to go into huge detail when it comes to JEPQ's overview. We've talked about this ETF countless times on my channel, so bear with me for a second if you guys have heard me explain what JEPQ is, how it works, because we've definitely went over this one before. But JEPQ basically is an ETF that seeks to deliver monthly distributable income and Nasdaq 100 exposure, but with less volatility. The underlying equity portfolio employs an applied data science approach to fundamental research and portfolio construction, and along with that Nasdaq 100 exposure, disciplined option overlays. Disciplined option overlay implements written out the money Nasdaq 100 index call options that seek to generate distributable monthly income. So JEPQ is a very simple covered call ETF, and like I said, the performance of this ETF has been pretty impressive so far. Now, as far as the dividend schedule for JEPQ, this is one of the main reasons investors, including myself, actually bought into this ETF to begin with. We wanted a lot more exposure to income than we would of course receive if we invest into the general market, and JEPQ has definitely delivered. We're talking 50 cents, 49 cents, upwards of almost 56 cents on a monthly basis, with some months being a little bit lower than others, and this is due to things like option premiums, due to things like volatility in the market, and things of those sorts. Now, it's hard to say exactly how much I personally earn on a monthly basis when it comes to JEPQ because it does pay a sporadic amount every single month, but with 434 shares of JEPQ as of right now, as you guys can see right here, across my portfolios, I earn anywhere from around $200 more or less per month, which has been pretty awesome. Now, this is especially awesome to me because of the fact, as you guys can see right here, that JEPQ has not only been an income-focused, income-generating machine, but since inception, this ETF has also grown over time. It's up 17% in the one-year time frame. Year-to-date, it's up 15.9%, and again, this is not even including all those juicy dividends. The max time frame since about May of 2022, which is pretty much when I started buying this one. I bought this ETF basically when it came out, and I've been buying it more or less ever since. JEPQ is up around 17.6%. Now I get it, the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, a lot of other indexes out there have performed maybe better in this time frame, but still for an income-focused ETF that's offered a lot more income potential right off the bat to investors, this ETF has grown substantially and also paid a ton of income, which has been amazing. Now, lastly, before we go in and figure out how long it would take a $50,000 investment into JEPQ to turn into $1 million plus, looking at JEPQ's growth over the 2.61 years that it's been trading, a $10,000 investment with dividends being reinvested along the way, we're talking 46.97% total return over 2.61 years. Now, this is an average annual total return of almost 16%. Now, again, like I said, there have been other stocks and, of course, ETFs during the same time frame that sure have performed better, but still, this is very impressive, especially for a more income-focused investment, in my opinion. Now, even with those dividends not being reinvested, we're still talking around 13% average annual total return, which makes JEPQ an absolute winner in my book. But the real question remains, how long would it take, again, theoretically speaking, for a $50,000 initial investment into JEPQ to turn into $1 million plus? Let's get right into it. So JEPQ's 30-day SEC yield as of right now is around 11.27%. The expected annual dividend increase, I'm going to put at 0 because I don't really think JEPQ is going to grow their dividend from here. Of course, it could happen. It could get higher or lower. These numbers are all, of course, just estimated. We're going to go with a 7% expected annual share price appreciation. Again, this could be much higher or much lower. We're going to go 7% though, just to be sort of conservative. A $50,000 investment, a $1,200 annual contribution from here. And we're going to go through multiple situations, showing you guys what happens if we add nothing, show you guys what happens if we add a little bit more, because the numbers are honestly going to shock you. Now, the distribution is monthly for JEPQ, and dividend reinvestment is going to be turned on. So every single month that these dividends come in, we're going to be using that money to buy, you guessed it, more shares of JEPQ. Now, the numbers are in, and just as the first year, $50,000 invested, we're already almost up to $6,000 per year in dividends, which is why this ETF is kind of magical. There's so much income potential considering just a $50,000 investment. It's sort of mind-blowing. Now, 5 years down the road, this portfolio has already almost compounded to $100,000 with over $8,600 per year in dividends. Again, remember, this is with a $50,000 investment, $1,200 per year or $100 per month, and of course, reinvesting those dividends year after year. Now, 10 years down the road, we're talking $191,000 and over $1,000 now per month in dividends, which is a huge milestone. Now, 15 years down the road, we're talking $340,000 with $15,000 per year in dividends. 18 years down the road, $463,000 with $16,000 plus per year in dividends. Now, with this model, it would take an investor around 26 years with a $50,000 investment, $1,200 annually, and reinvest in the dividends based off of the numbers that we use, which of course can change ongoingly. We're talking 26 years to turn $50,000 into $1 million invested. Now, if we were to change things up and go to $0 annual contribution, which means in theory you're dumping $50,000 into JEPQ and then just letting the portfolio compound over time, in this case, it would actually take the portfolio a little bit longer. It would take 29 years based off these numbers in order for the portfolio to surpass $1 million invested, which is honestly quite a long time. Now, on the other hand, with a $12,000 annual contribution, this is $1,000 per month on top of everything else. Just to give you guys an idea on how different this makes things, it would take about 18 years, theoretically speaking, in order for that $50,000 to compound into $1 million plus. So my takeaway after digging a little bit deeper into the numbers and really seeing how long it could potentially take for an investor to turn $50K into $1 million plus are a few things. For one, I still like the fact that JEPQ is an income generating machine and can offer investors so much income from day one. You don't have to sit around for years and years and wait for dividend increases. You can basically buy into JEPQ today and expect somewhere up around a 35 to 50 cent dividend paid to you by next month. And on top of that, the underlying investment has held up very well as far as NAV decay or lack thereof. But as far as a very long-term investment or the idea of utilizing your entire portfolio and buying into something like JEPQ, especially if you're relatively young, I personally think that there's better investment opportunities out there, like dividend growth ETFs like SCHD, DGRO, VYM, BIG, even VU, that are probably going to compound faster and bigger over the long term, although names like JEPQ do of course offer investors a ton more income right off the bat. But either way, I think it's safe to say that at least historically speaking, JEPQ has been a very high quality and honestly somewhat safe ETF for investors that want a little bit of upside, but also, like I said, want a ton of income from day one. So now that we talked about JEPQ, we went over the numbers and I share with you guys how long in theory it would take an investor to turn $50K into $1 million plus in the market. I lastly want to hear from you down below. Do you currently own any shares of JEPQ in your portfolio? And if so, how many shares do you have? Let me know down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like on it and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.